Trust is one of the most beautiful abilities we have as humans. It allows us to connect, to build friendships, to fall in love, to collaborate, to grow. But here's something empowering that people don't say enough. Being careful about who you trust is not being negative, it's emotional intelligence. It means you've learned from life. It means your mind is trying to protect your heart. And psychology shows that this discernment is not coldness, it's wisdom shaped by experience. Today we're exploring certain behavior patterns not to label people as bad, but to understand which traits make trust fragile. Because sometimes the issue isn't that someone is evil, it's that they are not emotionally equipped to carry the responsibility of your trust. Let's gently talk about the types of people you should be very careful trusting. The person who only shows up when they need something. You know this one. They disappear when you're struggling, but the moment they need help, advice, money, or support, they're suddenly warm, responsive, and affectionate. Psychology shows that relationships built on one-sided benefit activate feelings of emotional exhaustion and resentment. Example, you text them when you're overwhelmed and they leave you on red, but when they need a favor, they call 3 times. Positive reframe. This person may not be intentionally selfish. They may have learned survival through dependency, but that doesn't make them reliable. You can care about them while limiting access to your time and resources. The chronic victim. This person is always wronged, always betrayed, always misunderstood. Research shows that people who live in a permanent victim identity often struggle with accountability. If everything is always someone else's fault, growth becomes impossible. Example, every job they left was toxic, every ex was crazy, every friend betrayed them. Positive reframe. They may genuinely have experienced pain, but when someone refuses to reflect on their own role in situations, trusting their judgment becomes risky. Compassion doesn't require blind belief. The secret competitor. They smile with you, but compare themselves to you silently. Psychology shows that hidden envy often leads to subtle sabotage, passive-aggressive behavior, or backhanded compliments. Example, you share good news and they respond with, "Must be nice, not everyone has it easy." Positive reframe. Envy is human, but people who haven't made peace with it can't fully celebrate you. Protect your wins around those who feel threatened by your growth. The emotional roller coaster. One day they adore you. Next day they're distant, cold, or irritated with no explanation. Research on emotional regulation shows that inconsistency in close relationships creates anxiety and insecurity. Example, you spend the whole day wondering, did I do something wrong? Positive reframe. They may struggle with their own inner storms, but emotional inconsistency makes stable trust difficult. You deserve steadiness, not confusion. The person who gossips about everyone. Psychology is clear. People who frequently share others' private information are signaling low boundary respect. Example, they tell you secrets about their best friend. That same pattern will apply to you. Positive reframe. They may mistake gossip for connection, but trust requires safety, and safety requires discretion. The over-charmer. They say all the right things too fast. Instant bonding, instant promises. Research on persuasion shows that excessive charm can be used to lower defenses quickly. Example, I've never met someone like you, after knowing you for 1 hour. Positive reframe. Some people are naturally expressive, but when intensity replaces consistency, slow down. Real trust grows over time. The boundary breaker. You say no, they push. You set limits, they test them. Psychology shows that repeated boundary violation is one of the strongest predictors of future emotional harm. Example, you say you're not comfortable sharing something, and they keep asking why not. Positive reframe. They may not understand boundaries, but that's not your job to sacrifice your comfort. The blame shifter. They apologize, but somehow you end up being the problem. Research indicates this pattern protects ego but destroys relational safety. Example, I'm sorry you feel hurt, instead of, I'm sorry I hurt you. Positive reframe. They fear guilt, not you. But without responsibility, trust cannot grow. The chronic promise breaker. They mean well, they just never follow through. Research shows repeated unreliability teaches your nervous system not to depend on someone. Example, I'll be there becomes something came up again. Positive reframe. Intention matters, but consistency builds trust, not words. The energy drainer. After every conversation, you feel tired, heavy, or emotionally flooded. Research on emotional contagion shows moods transfer between people. Example, every interaction turns into a crisis or complaint session. Positive reframe. They may need support, but you are not their emotional dumping ground. The image manager. They care deeply about how things look, not how they actually are. Psychology shows that people who prioritize appearance over authenticity often hide important truths. Example, perfect social media life, but dishonesty behind the scenes. Positive reframe. They fear judgment, but trust requires transparency. The person who dismisses your feelings. You express hurt, and they say you're too sensitive or dramatic. Research shows emotional invalidation erodes self-esteem over time. Positive reframe. They may lack emotional skills, but your feelings deserve respect. Here's the empowering truth. Recognizing these patterns doesn't make you harsh, it makes you aware. Trust should not be given out of guilt, pressure, or fear of seeming mean. It should be built where there is mutual respect, emotional safety, and consistent behavior. And remember, this isn't about cutting everyone off. It's about adjusting access. Some people are fine for casual connection, but not for deep trust. Some are great for fun, but not for secrets. Some are kind, but not dependable. You are allowed to choose who gets close to your heart. That's not selfish, that's self-respect. If this helped you see your relationships more clearly, stay with us. Subscribe for more insights that help you understand people, protect your peace, and build healthier connections. You deserve relationships where trust feels safe, not stressful.